In 1985, Reverend Paul Zieber was asked to create an elementary music camp, which he did. And I had sung the year previously with the Cairo Singers, which Paul was directing at the time. And so he asked a couple of us from the Cairo Singers to join him in being counselors for camp.
I had taken several youth groups from my churches on weekend retreats just to sing and to study and to have fun, but also then to come back to the church as a choir. And one year we started doing a musical. I thought this would be a great idea to make this a conference-wide appeal for a youth choir, children's music camp. So I said to the Cal Kramer, who was the camping director at that time, he said, "Yeah, that's a good idea, let's push it." Well, we got 11 registrants. I said, "I can't do it for 11. I can't." He said, "Well, let's beat the bushes and see what we can do." Well, phone calls and so on, we got 2 more. 13, I said, "I can't do it for 13. He said, "You're gonna do it for 13. I'm not gonna let you get out of it." So we did this one, It's Cool in the Furnace, with 13 boys and girls. Apparently they had a great time because the following year we had about 20 campers, and within 3-4 years we had a full camp, 70. When I knew this was going to be basically music, I needed people in the music background. I got to know Barry through the Cairo Singers, the conference ministers choir. I knew him as a really neat guy, a good singer, and I said, "Would you be willing to be on my staff?" And he agreed, and the rest is history.
I don't think you were accompanying the choir at that time.
No, but I was with your wife, and he needed female counselors.
Right, but you play the piano, and so that was a gift to the camp as well. So that was how we got involved. And that first year, we had all of 12 girls and 2 boys. We had 4 male counselors, and we needed all 4 of us for those 2 boys.
By the second year, I needed some help as a dean, so he was a co-dean. With Barry, we had a trained theologian who could relate to children on their level. We had a pastor with a caring heart, and we had a teacher. And then with Joni, we had all the above without the training, plus a great vocalist and keyboardist. And so it was quite a team, and we had a wonderful time together.
Every year at camp, we did about a 40-minute children's musical that the kids heard for the first time on Sunday evening when they arrived. And by Thursday night, Friday morning, they had the whole thing memorized.
They are magical people.
Yes, they are.
They are sweet and kind and organized and funny and people you want to be around, people you want to be in your posse. And we count them among people that are just part of who we do life with.
And fun. They put on a skit in the middle of the talent show we'd have in the middle of the camp that always caught some people off guard. It was very funny. They were always 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead of everything, so it was just so nice and smooth. They kept the camp just running, and you knew exactly what you were going to do every day.
I have this deep love of Barry and Joni Robison. So Barry was my home pastor for 10 of my most formative years, all throughout elementary, middle, and high school. Barry's also the one who baptized me in middle school, confirmed me in the life of the church. She was one of the first people I ever told that I felt this calling to pastoral ministry. But Barry and Joni were also like parents of my best friend. And so they were also the people that I would spend a lot of weekends at their house and sleep on their couch for weekends with their son Gabe. And so What I really find when I think about like Barry and Joni is that they were just like incredible like role models and like maybe even surrogate parents, right? They just had this way of like always loving and seeing me. Growing up and falling asleep in their basement or whatever of the parsonage. And like, I remember like Barry picking me up and putting me to bed, right? Like at their house for this big sleepover. So like, I just have this like really kind of a soft spot in my heart for Barry and Joni. And I think just growing up, they were just very kind people to me. I can't imagine my life, and I bet others can't imagine their life, not having been influenced or touched by Barry and Joni. So I'm grateful that I get to be one of those people who can say, I'm a better human Christian, husband and father because of Barry and Joni's presence in my life.
The way they interact with the students and the kids and with myself, they really became my family at camp and just an extension of my family. And then it just continued on throughout my 4 years at Green Hills as a camper and just grew even more. When I started as a junior counselor and then a counselor, they really became mentors.
One of the things that I think of, and just with Barry and Joni is their enthusiasm for camp, their knowledge, and their experience level, having done it for so many years. When we're here and we work together, the kids always have a lot of fun as well.
To watch these kids, they learned a whole musical in a week. I mean, it's like they memorize their parts, they do the motions, they do all that. But yet at the end of the week, we put them in a bus and they go to Tyrone. And they do the performance for a nursing home, people in a nursing home. And so for me, they move from learning the musical, learning about the characters, learning the Bible, and then move to service. To me, it is a time of service. And they'd go and do that many times. They've made cards to pass out. So it's just, to me, it's like, it's something in action. They've learned this, but now this is I'm going to do, and it's an action.
I met Barry and Joni when I came here about 5 years ago. I didn't have a house, I didn't have a home, and it was Joni and Barry who just opened their doors as if it was nothing and said, well, you can, until you get settled in, you can stay with us. And I stayed with them, and I felt so at home and so at ease in their presence, which is very, I'm kind of an introverted person, right? So it's hard for me being in a different space. But I felt like I was at home.
Their partnership and it's just so evident that they loved the children, they loved those who they're in ministry with, and they do it all for Jesus. Without them, I would have never stepped foot probably into a position where it allowed me to experience some of the greatest moments of my life.
Just the way they carried themselves with the kids, just friendly, yet the kids looked up to them, slightly authoritative, like just this is who we look to, and they were so kind to the kids. Just the way they carried themselves at camp, even as counselors, and then to step into the role of deans. It was just amazing to me.
When I started up, working in the kitchen, I could tell right away Barry and Joni were very friendly. Joni and I would always have conversations. She'd come back, we'd talk, about everything, not just camp or whatever, Look at just nice people,
Joni and Barry really were the ones that gave me wings to be a part of camping ministry. I was able to learn the ropes of being a dean, how to structure my time, most importantly, just how to be present for the campers, my counselors, how to interact with the staff, how to walk worthy in a week that is just probably what I consider now is the best week of my summer, is having a week at camp.
We can point to at least five campers by name who entered the ministry. I can't say that camp was the primary reason why, but can't but help think that it played a significant role in their response to the call that God placed upon their life.
I want to express a deep appreciation to you, Barry and Joni. You have been two people who have been in my corner for majority of my life. And the two of you took a risk and dealt with the complexity of a kid like me growing up. And I know the two of you have spent money and time and energy to help me be who I am today. So I just want to express the two of you for all of your sacrifice, for all of your patience, and for all the ways that you saw something in me well before I even saw it in myself, or affirmed things in me that I didn't even know were in me. Thank you for seeing me as a young child. Thank you for seeing me as a young pastor. And thank you for seeing me now as a friend and a colleague in ministry. And so I think, or I know that my life is significantly better and more blessed because of your presence being my pastor and dear mentors along the way. And so thank you for your faithful years of ministry and life together. And you have certainly made a difference in my life, and I know you have changed the life of so many people. So thank you, Barry and Joni. And so this is a well-deserved celebration of the two of you today.
Barry, I just want to thank you for who you are and the gift you are to the world. If I could sum it up in one word, I would say love. I have felt so loved by you as friends. I've seen you love so many other people, and I will cherish knowing you and continue to cherish our friendship as we do things together. Thank you.
Barry and Joni, thank you so much for everything you have done for camp, for Green Hills, and for me. I truly cannot express how much you guys mean to me and my whole family. So thank you so much, and I don't know two people who are more deserving.
Barry, I'm glad they're honoring you and Joni in this way. As I think back over the years we spent together at Green Hills with the music camp, I have nothing but praise and thanksgiving for what you brought to our staff, both in counseling as well as in leadership, in administration, as a person and as a witness, a living witness to the love of God in Jesus Christ.
I thank you for not only modeling for me what the meaning of camping ministry is all about, sharing Christ with everyone at camp, but also how they interact as a family. God blesses us with our loved ones, spouse, children, and one of the things I do remember that was so precious for me was the first time I was a counselor at your camp. I was blessed to be with your son Gabe, and being alongside of him, seeing how not only was he a counselor to his campers and how he interacted with them, but just it was that same, you guys were a well-oiled machine where as a family you all stood for the same thing. The way you would interact as a family in the camping ministry just was a praise to God, and it was an inspiration for how I want my family to be a part of camping ministry too. Not just me as a dean, but the whole family, experiencing the sacredness of camp and sharing Jesus with children. So thank you. I love you dearly as my brother and sister in Christ, and God bless you. Thank you for the over 30 years of ministry that you've given and been a part of with the children.
I just thank you for being my friend and help me learn and to grow and help me to laugh, because you're both people who just laugh at things but can be serious, and so I can't thank you for being a brother and a sister in Christ with me.
Just so grateful that I've had time with you guys. Grateful to grow with you at camp and to be friends outside of camp, and to know that that God is our God together. I'm just amazed at your energy and what you could accomplish at camp, and I've just been so grateful to witness that, and love you both so much.
But from that humble beginning, the camp grew and grew and grew, and had a 30-year run. So it was wonderful.